metal! Got it right? So this is about heavy metal with a band called Glacier. If that name sounds like a cliche, well, no surprise here. This band was founded probably way before most of the audience here were even born. 1979, almost as old as me. And guess what? It's heavy metal. Now the curious thing here is, why haven't you heard about this band before? The answer is really simple. This is the debut album. So after 41 years of existence, Glacier is finally here with their debut album. Now the thing is, the band only demoed and it seems did one EP back in 1980s before they disbanded around 1990. Now the band started to come back around 2015, but back then it was only a handful of singles. And now, some 5 years later, the band is right here with their heavy metal debut. The music is very, very classic, melodic, mid-tempo driven, clean vocals done with kind of a heavy metal, which is very, very familiar for all those here who have been going through Iron Maiden and the rest of the flock. You pretty much know it's kind of a, well, pretty heavy metal sounding, even though this band is from United States of America, and the cover pretty much tells you all about it. It's kind of a B-class heavy metal, but that is not to disrespect the band as much as to say this could have been the next big thing had the guys been going, since the 70s when they started. Being from Portland, Oregon, I really don't know the story of the band, and I'm not gonna even try to recap it if I knew. There are a bunch of interviews probably out there which are gonna cover the story. But as you can see here on the Metal Archive site, there are a few singles and demos and whatever, but The Passing of Time is the only album out so far with its 40 minutes of music and was released by No Remorse Records in the end of October 2020. Now the production is very, very strong and clean and crisp and nice, totally fitting for this kind of music, and that is, in my opinion, one of the elements that actually make the difference between sounding like a 1980s band versus 2020 band. So it's very modern sounding, but at the same time the music here is quite timeless. You really can't put your finger like, hey, this is 1980s or 1990s or 2020 riff. It's all kind of representing the majesty of traditional heavy metal. It's showing that it doesn't matter from which decade you're coming from, when you do proper heavy metal, it sounds timeless. And to be honest, I think this good production really emphasizes the power of these songs. Because let's be honest about it, there is no single hit song here. It's not one of those Iron Maiden 1980s albums where you're just spotting hits and there and like, hey man, I know the lyrics of this one. Everything you hear is nicely executed, but nothing really stands out. The vocalist is skilled, but at least it took me a couple of spins before I could get into his style. I'm not saying he does anything wrong, it's just a matter of taste, because obviously in heavy metal, the variety is way more diverse than in more extreme styles when you just roll your vocals. So it's up to a individual whether certain kind of vocals do the trick or don't. For me, they kind of do it, but I still would hope to see some kind of a evolution, if you will, with the vocals. Now everything here is quite nicely done, and the only reason why I'm calling this kind of a B-class heavy metal is that it's clearly work in progress. It very much sounds like it's the first or maybe second album by some new promising band, and the magic will happen after a couple of more recordings. I mean, they have all the right tools, all the right elements, and they have already the good production. They know what they're doing, but it still needs kind of a little bit of honing and polishing, at least in my opinion. But for heavy metal maniacs, I don't see any reason why to skip this one. At least give it a chance if you're into heavy metal, and if not, well, this won't really change the thing. That's it, I guess. Go check out the links, and I hope you like it. That's all I can say. Thank you for watching. Take care.